chosen.
Hello, truth seekers. We're at this point in Austin Steinbart's journey where I think he may have to get bailed out by the DIA. For this interview, just posted on the We Have More Than We Know channel, Austin Steinbart Interview 8.0, Austin relates that there is an increased probability that he's going to be put away just a day after this interview. By put away, I mean be placed in jail without a charge even. While he was arrested for the Dado blockade, he was never arraigned due to the pandemic issue. In this segment, Austin is about to explain that he has a probation type manager who frequently checks on him to make sure that he is abiding by all of the restrictions placed on him. He calls this person the pretrial intensive specialist. This particular PIS does not like Austin very much and apparently relayed to Austin that Austin is to submit himself for a urine drug screen tomorrow morning to see if he has any drugs in his system.
But that guy, yesterday, after getting kind of turned down by the court as far as the internet use thing, he immediately turned around and scheduled a drug test for me tomorrow, which he knows full well based on the fact that I told him I have a medical marijuana card and I smoked the night before I got arrested. He knows that I have zero chance of passing that test tomorrow.
Wow. What an act.
So, it's pretty much one of those things where, and they even told me in the courts, they're like, we know you have a prescription from a doctor, we know you have a medical marijuana card, but that marijuana is still federally illegal, and we're a federal court, so we don't respect that, and we don't care.
Wow. That's ridiculous. So that's just a way to show how much power they have, literally abusing everything and anything with our rights, period.
Yep, and it's just one of those things where, like, they can just do whatever they want. It doesn't matter what the popular will of the people is. It doesn't matter what the laws of the land are. They're bigger. They have their gray areas, and they just feel like they're bigger and better than everybody. And that's really what's being laid to bear here. So it's just a pretty frustrating situation. And I've had some other people. I have some ex-police officers and military people that work with me over the phone here to try to help me sort this out. And everybody's just very concerned that they're going to try to throw me back in that jail and find a way to kill me. So for my sake, it's not even necessarily the other inmates that I'm super worried about, because I was pretty popular with them last time. They all thought I was a super hacker and I was going to expunge all their records, so they were really nice to me. It was actually pretty funny. And I'm more worried about, getting thrown in solitary confinement, having the cameras go out mysteriously, and, having them say that I committed suicide or something. So just for everybody listening, I am not suicidal in any way. It's one of those things. I don't have any suicidal thoughts. I have a lot of ambitions for the future.
So in a time like this, I would really hope that Austin is joking and that he has contingencies lined up and this is just for entertainment purposes. So what he fairly plainly stated is that the judicial system he is under is operating off of federal law, which does have a restriction against substances like marijuana. Therefore, the fact that he has a doctor's prescription to use marijuana is irrelevant. It's looking like Austin indeed will disappear tomorrow, and we won't hear from him for some time. In the segment you just heard, Austin expressed his immediate concern for possibly getting Epsteined once he goes into a jail cell, which in his context, assuming the relations he claims are true, is unfortunately a significant possibility. Here, Austin estimates that the length of time he's going to be in jail until trial will be about a month.
Would get thrown back in jail until trial tomorrow over this total BS. And, that trial's potentially months away.
Michael Ray Corey later asks, what's going to happen to these corrupt agencies in the long run later on?
You don't see any any chance for them to recover these agencies. We won't name any, but the federal agencies. Do you see any chance in us restoring faith in that FBI? I guess.
The FBI and the CIA are compromised beyond repair. They are fundamentally corrupt organizations that need to be disbanded, and CIA can be rolled into the DIA, right? So there's already a vehicle there for we obviously need spies as a country. We need intelligence services, but we don't need intelligence services that are totally out of control and unaccountable to the elected president of the United States.
In this part of the interview, Austin gives his explanation as far as why they're trying to railroad him.
I was going to say it's a great mindset, and I think it's really catching fire with these progressive lefties. And so that's a really good thing to see, and I think that's a big reason. Like the fact that the lefties are starting to turn on their people so aggressively and starting to kind of see the light and hop on board with us. Really is the reason why they're coming after me so hard now, and why they really want me to just shut up and go away, and why they're going to do whatever underhanded things they need to do to make that happen.
And this is how the interview concludes.
Well, I mean, obviously, welcome back anytime. Hopefully, everything goes well. Best of luck. I just don't know. Don't know what you're going to be going across, but hopefully you'll be able to let me know and keep me in the loop. But other than that, God bless, and it's probably not going to be too fun, but best of wishes from me.
Well, thank you, sir, and I'll be back if I don't get thrown back in jail. I'll be back on the phone with you soon, and if I do, I'll come back when I can.
Yeah.
But either way, I appreciate you guys. I really need everyone from your team and everyone just listening that this movement has got to go forward with or without me. So I hope that with or without me, that you guys can be. It seems like you're doing a good job picking up the baton and marching us forward and making things happen, right? Because this isn't just about me; it's about everyone. So I appreciate you guys, and I think you'll, whether I'm here or not, that you'll do a great job.
I appreciate it, and yeah, we will carry on. But hopefully we don't have to. I just want to preface that wrong. So, God bless, and have a great night, man.
Thanks, Michael, and thanks, Elon and Kevin and the rest of the team. You guys rock, and keep up the good work, and I'll be back when I can. Fingers crossed about tomorrow, and thank you for having me.
For sure, man. Have a good one.
You too.
So that's a very depressing end of the interview there. The implication is that Austin Steinbart is going to be in jail for up to 3 months. We don't really know the total duration because it is sort of contingent on the duration of the pandemic. To be honest, Austin doesn't really leave even the smallest inkling of hope that he will somehow be able to prevail in this situation. Looking at everything Austin has said in context, however, we know that there is a version of himself that exists concurrently, but in a different timeline, or perhaps the same timeline, but just far into the future of the same timeline. And this version of himself has the ability to know something about the present time and is able to send messages to the present time in a manner quite reminiscent of a famous anime called Steins Gate. Any of you who viewed this anime can recall how the plot had a twist every few episodes, and the twist was oftentimes very shocking. I suspect that if Austin is indeed who he claims he is, we would expect a rather shocking plot twist, a la Steins Gate style. If he's really gone tomorrow, we're going to have to figure out the situation with proofs. And as you recall, Austin has demonstrated some correlation between his own life events and preferences and the Q boards. So if this is all a part of the plan, there should be some proofs that are drawn from this occasion. Like perhaps tomorrow there will be a posting by Q that's somehow relating to Austin's predicament. If Austin Steinbart actually disappears, seemingly for good, I do wonder what will happen to the Austin Steinbart faction of the Q movement, as well as how that will influence the greater Q movement. Obviously, those individuals who some have chosen to class as the Q Pharisees, they will come out in droves, noticing that Austin is gone and no longer has a social media presence. They will then proclaim that this proves that all of his actions are for a LARP. However, I must tell you that that assertion is in itself somewhat contradicted in the popular usage of the term LARP, live action role player. The actors are thought to be paid agents, usually associated with the government. COINTELPRO would be an example of such a group. Projecting forward in the circumstance of Austin winding up missing, I think a faction of true believers will continue to await his return, no matter how long that will take. That faction, I estimate, will be probably about 7% of the total number of Austin Steinbart followers. From the standpoint of anonymous Q followers, all that we have to go by at this point are the Q drops and the associations with actions in the White House, the so-called Q proofs. It's quite possible that the Q drops were instigated by an aspect of intelligence, like some type of intelligence agency, for the purpose of psychological warfare, perhaps to pacify the patriots, or perhaps to galvanize the patriots, their galvanization to a cause that would then be exploited in the future to some unjust purpose. Assuming that Q is a legit white hat type of operation involving certain individuals in the White House and other actors who we do not know just yet, Austin's disappearance then would have very little overall bearing of the Q plan. We'll just have to wait and see. I hope this video will not be my last Austin Steinbart video, but if it is, it was fun while it lasted. Thanks for watching. Bye.